In the previous video, I survived 100 days of hardcore Minecraft. You saw me get full diamond armor, I decimated a bastion, conquered another fortress, got full netherite armor, and I killed the ender dragon. Now, it's time to tell you the story of surviving 200 days in hardcore Minecraft. But first, if you haven't seen the first 100 days of hardcore Minecraft, I would highly recommend going back and watching it before you watch 200 days. There's tons of spoilers in 200 days, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Before starting 200 days, I made a list of goals that I would like to accomplish. Number 1, get an elytra. Number 2, make a real base with an actual roof. Number 3, make a creeper farm. Number 4, mass reproduce villagers. Number 5, make an iron farm. And number 6, make a blaze farm. If I can accomplish all these tasks by the end of the 200 days, then you are legally obligated to leave a like. If this video gets to 1,000 likes, I will do a 300 days. Also, I put a ton of time and effort into these videos, and YouTube says only about 25% of you are subscribed. It's free, and it would mean a ton to me if you hit that subscribe button. I also stream Minecraft on twitch.tv/PainDomination. Come stop by and show some love for my live stream only hardcore world. Anyways, let's get into day 101. On day 101, I was welcomed home after my long journey by this almost dead iron golem. No clue what happened to him. Then I decided it was finally time to upgrade my sword. I went out and bought sharpness 4 and sweeping edge 3. And then I had the ultimate name for the sword. I decided to rename it E-Girl Eliminator. With this god sword by my side, no e-girls will be safe. Then I decided, since I didn't have enough time to explore the end in day 100, I would go back and get shulkers and an elytra. It was also time to get the dragon egg that I forgot, so I made a piston, because at the time I was recording this, I thought I needed a piston. Turns out you can just, right click it, place a torch down wherever it goes, break it, and it'll fall in the torch, you can get it. I didn't know that, but I decided to head towards the end. On day 102, I ended up taking a slight detour, and while heading towards the end portal, I ran into a roaming band of e-girls. Don't worry though, I made a new sword just for the occasion. Now that I had the e-girl Simps curse, I had to be careful when returning home from the end because my compound is now a village. Or at least Minecraft thinks it is. After getting back to the stronghold, I decided to grief the library for books. A man's gotta make emeralds somehow. After relocating the portal, the first thing I did was jump in, and I decided to lure some endermen in with the hopes of free candy and Wi-Fi. There was no candy or Wi-Fi. Now that I had ender pearls, I went to grab the ender dragon egg. This was actually my first ever egg that I've grabbed. I always kind of just left them behind, so in a way, this was kind of special to me. Even though I used a piston. Don't yell at me in the comments, please. On day 103, I built up to the Farlands portal, and looking down at the void during this, I could feel my heart stop. Like, my palms were sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. I was not having a good time building up here, and I feel like I'm always unlucky when it comes to these things. They always spawn so far out over the void that, all it takes is one misclick or letting go of shift, and yoink, there goes 100 days, let alone 200 days, and all of my effort. But I did end up getting up to it and threw the ender pearl in, and surprisingly enough, we actually ended up with a real set of endland and not just an island that I would have to build away from. So this was looking good. Things were looking good. After a surprisingly short distance, I actually ran into 2 end cities, but neither of them had an end ship, so no elytra quite yet. I spent the rest of this day building my way over to them since there is no clear path to get to them. I spent all of day 104 looting end cities and killing shulkers. Honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than end city loot. After killing all the shulkers, I already had enough for 4 shulker boxes, which I really desperately needed because my inventory was ridiculous. I had no space for anything, and I struggled just to make the shulkers. Also, as I was looking into the distance, I realized that I was wrong, and there was an end ship in the next city over. We were going to check off one of our goals on day 104. We were going to learn to fly. On day 105, I went to the next end city, and I gave every single shulker there a promotion to unalive. I took their bodies to store my items in. That sounds pretty weird, I know, but you know what? Let's roll with it. Cue shulker montage. Then I found 11 diamonds in this chest. I have never seen this many pure diamonds sitting in an end chest before. That is a big PogChamp moment. Then I was hit by the Shulker boy and I decided to turn it into an MLG slow fall onto that sweet end ship. But I missed. So I don't want to talk about how many times I failed getting onto the ship, but long story short, we got our elytra and we got some dank loot. And of course, I grabbed the dragon head. We officially checked off learning to fly from our list of to-do. On day 106, while looking for a portal back to the end spawn, I found another city, which then turned into 2 cities. This is super lucky because I didn't have any fireworks to use my new elytra, so all these cities were just icing on top of the cake. In the first city, it didn't really have much loot, so I just bullied the Shulker, and then I left. And the second city had a whole bunch of enchanted diamond armor. Then I wasted the rest of my day struggling to find a portal back home. On day 107, I had a problem. I was ready to go home through the portal, but I still had the Eagle Simp debuff, and teleporting home would probably start a raid. I guess I had no choice but to find out. I hope my villagers are okay because a lot of them are definitely exposed. Huh, well, apparently you lose the Illager debuff when you change dimensions, so mission success. I ended up with 18 Shulkers and I found my elytra. On day 108, I caught this man's trying to escape my prison compound. He was trying to escape my compound. Then I partook in some poorly priced capitalism. Man, do I need better villagers. Then it was elytra time, which I appropriately named Elytra. I mean, it's not my best name, but it will do until I think of a better one. Then I made my Flight 3 rockets, and it was time to take this boy for a good night flight. And I found an abandoned portal with free gold and loot. Now that I have an elytra, I could easily travel to the Nether Fortress and make that double blaze spawner farm. On day 109, I dyed my Shulky boys. And then I decided to go into the Nether to visit the double blaze farm. Just look at all these mans. But none of them can stand up to the E-Girl Slayer. After getting some dank XP and blaze rods, I went back to the overworld. I decided to make a lodestone so I could fly back here in the future. I didn't have the redstone to make a compass, but I saw an underwater ravine, so I decided to go down there. While down here, I found 6 diamonds. I tied the compass to the lodestone and started to fly. On the way home, I found a desert temple and I found a village. But I've already explored them, apparently. I don't remember coming through here, but okay. On day 110, I flew over a mesa biome, and you know I had to stop. Mesas are known for having tons of exposed mine shafts, gold, minecarts with chests, and spider spawners. And what do you know? I literally found all of the above. I stopped by a couple of chests, and I got myself 4 name tags. And I even found the coveted surface cave spider spawner. However, I was done with cave spiders. I already had a farm and I had 0 interest in it. So I left. After flying home, I decided to start making a netherite shovel that was going to become a god shovel. After making my shovel, I went to go gather sand. Lots of sand. And you know what that means. In the first 100 days, we did a dream sand speedrun, and now we continue the tradition. But right before the speedrun, I found an underwater portal with some loot, and I was jumped by this wandering band of sea orphans. Anyways, just look at all the sand I got. And now I have a netherite shovel that I can make into a god shovel. That is if I was paying attention, and I totally didn't just break it, wasting a netherite ingot. And a shovel. You will be missed, shovel. On day 111, I made an auto smelter, and then I realized that I traded all of my coal to the scam artists. So I guess I'm using the lava buckets that I had saved for the blaze farm. Which is what this glass is for, by the way. I spent the whole day smelting this glass. Then I began collecting new willing residents. I mean, come on, all my residents I love, like all the residents love it here. So of course they're willing. Anyways, these boys will be infecting new villagers so I can start making mad stonks. After trapping these boys, I gave them a roof so they wouldn't burn from the sun, and I decided to give them a little guardrail in case an iron golem decided to walk in here and just yeet one or two of them. And then this gang of midget zombies thought that they could Philza Minecraft me. But they were wrong. On day 112, while still waiting for the glass to smelt, I began my mad experiments with this stupid cleric that tried to escape. You know, the more days pass, the worse this compound looks. Sometime during this 100 days, we will actually build us a house over the ocean, and it's going to be beautiful. I cured my 2 villagers, then left them to be infected again. Each villager needs to be infected about 6 times each. Also, I decided to fix up my personal house guard since I was kind of tired of looking at this crumbling husk of a former self that he had become. He needs to work on himself. He has issues. On day 113, I infected my mans again. And then I went to the local neighborhood lava pool for some lava. Fun fact, this is where all the orphans like to hang out. It was a good thing that I renamed my axe in honor of Technoblade. I spent the rest of the day cooking sand until I had almost a full shulker full of white stained glass. Then these flying demons tried to get me, but they were scared of my security guard. I cured my villagers a 3rd time and went to sleep. On day 114, things were looking good. I only cured this man 3 times and his rotten flesh was already down to 7 per emerald. I spent the day mining stone for the blaze farm. Insert epic time lapse here. Then I cured these boys a 4th time. I'm going to need more apples. Then we had done it. 1 rotten flesh per 1 emerald. Also a huge source of XP. We had our first efficient villager. We were 1 step closer to infinite stunks. On days 115 through 116, for the meme, I decided to make a diamond hoe. Also because I needed apples. Then the enchantment table had me looking like a clown. I went back to my cleric for some more capitalism. Look at that, 16 juicy emeralds, plus a bunch of XP. The plan's all coming together. I spent all of day 116 killing trees for their apples and wood. It was a win-win-win, because eventually I was going to need to light up all this land for my creeper farm to work better at night. Oh yeah, and this golem decided to show off the reason why I added a guard around my zombies. Imagine if I was still out cutting trees and this man killed my zombie villager who had been cured 5 times. I'd have to make an iron golem farm for vengeance even sooner than I had planned. On days 117 through 118, I was looking like a baller with my 28 golden apples. Then I decided to cure this man again, 1 more time, and he shall be my Fletcher, who trades for sticks, feathers, and string. Do you smell the stonks? Maybe it's just me. I should probably shower. Next, I harvested my sugarcane. Then I harvested my wheat. You know, I really can't wait until I start automating things around here. Then I fed my prisoners. They could provide me with more future orphans. Don't look at me like that. Yes, I know, I need an auto breeder. I will get to it. On day 118, I finally gave my cured boy a Fletcher roll, and he has 1 stick per emerald trades. It was all coming together. With my crazy stonks, I decided to give E-Girl Eliminator the final upgrade she needed with Sharpness 5. I also gave Orphan Obliterator Sharpness 5. Good old Orphan Obliterator. On day 119, I spent the whole day laying out the foundation for my double blaze farm. The spawners were in kind of a weird spot, so I couldn't really stop the blazes from spawning, and they made this whole process take twice as long. On day 120, I came back with glowstone and made it so they would leave me alone. Please. I couldn't even think for 10 seconds without a blaze smacking me or shooting a fireball at me. On day 121, I began making the spawn chambers for the blazes, and things were going pretty well. The white stained glass idea I got from Filza, because he made a cool blaze farm in his hardcore world. On day 122, I ran out of stone bricks, so I went home and I made a cool compact stone generator that I found online. This design is super efficient, it's AFKable, and I can choose to make cobble or stone. I spent the whole day getting tons of stone. On days 123 through 124, I continued building the blaze chamber. I have really good feelings about this farm, but I ended up running out of stone again, so it was back to the stone generator. On day 124, I finished the top portion of the farm, and this stupid ghast tried to yoink my spawner. Like a jerk. Anyways, look at this blaze getting pushed by the lava. The farm is working like a charm already. On day 125, I was almost done with the blaze farm, and this is going to be insane. This many blaze spawns just from one spawner. I had to go inside to increase the size of the kill chamber because there was just too many blaze. Just look at how crazy this farm is. But I'm out of stone again, so I need to go get more. On day 126, I killed a drowned, and he dropped a trident. Finally. And then this guy somehow broke his boat and escaped. Maybe the trident drowned was attacking the villager and hit the boat. I don't know. On days 127 through 128, I realized that the whole time my Silk Touch pick was missing Unbreaking 3. And I ended up not having enough XP to add it yet. After that, I went back to the Nether to continue working on the blaze farm. The next day, I finished the kill chambers, and I decided to make 2 kill chambers since the first design that moved all of the blazes from one spawner to the second was super inefficient. For now, I was finished working on the spawner. In the future, I'll probably make this room look nicer. For now, it is just a working XP farm, so I can go ahead and mend all my stuff. I mean, after all, I'm working on villagers anyways, so I'll probably be getting most of my XP from them. Either way, we checked off another thing on the to-do list. On day 129, I returned home from the Nether with just a couple of blaze rods, nothing huge. And since it was cheaper just to combine 2 picks that I had gotten from end cities rather than add Unbreaking 3 to my original pick, I did just that, and I made it netherite. We would need multiple picks for future projects anyways, so no big deal. I started day 130 with some beautiful capitalism, and then I was forced into a brutal staring contest with Jeff, my stolen alpaca. I won, of course. Then I enchanted my new trident and rightfully named it the Yeet Stick. Then I took my Yeet Stick for a good yeeting around the ocean. Then I spent a good portion of the day killing trees, and I gave my shield mending and unbreaking, and I rightfully named it Double Wide Surprise. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm referencing with this name. On day 131, I flew over to my local dark oak forest to yoink some wood for my new base of operations. And then I began building the framework. This new house was going to be big. On day 132, I went back to work on the new base. This is going to take a long time. By the end of the day, I had finished the front of the frame. On days 133 through 134, I continued expanding my new base, and I finished laying out 1 of 2 of the crazy chest rooms. I could truly be at home with my perfect OCD storage finally. On days 135 through 136, I needed more wood, so it was back to deforestation. I chopped so many trees during these 2 days. For days 137 all the way through 146, I spent these working on my house, reorganizing my loot, and just making everything look nice. This base is going to be a hoarder's dream. I had to slaughter some cows for their skin, rip to all the cows that died for this heavenly organization. It was a ton of work, but my chest areas are done, and I still don't have a roof. On day 147, I started making pillars so the base looked less, ridiculous, and it wasn't just like floating magically above the water. I made a new netherite god shovel and rightfully called it the Domination Digger. Also, just look at the beginning of this base. Isn't it beautiful? On day 148, I built a nice bridge to get to the front door. And then I noticed my 2 villagers were dead. Yay. Then I bought some nice lanterns from my mending boy here because I was trying to save iron until I actually did make the iron golem farm. And that was what those 2 spare villagers were for. Now I need more again. Thank you, whatever killed them. On day 149, I spent the whole day lighting and cleaning up the mainland. Then I decided to start my mob prison camp, which is a future goal for a future 100 days, by collecting this baby zombie chicken rider. Got a name tag, and I named him McChicken. On day 150, lighting was still going well. After fully lighting all of the land around me, I can build a creeper/spider farm, and I can have infinite fireworks and more cheap emerald trades with string. On day 151, I realized I was out of coal for torches. However, I didn't really feel like going strip mining, so I flew around to find some exposed coal and caves. Then I witnessed the miracle of life with bees. I waited until one would go into the nest and the other would leave, and then I stole it. I'm collecting bees for a future honey farm project. On day 152, I continued hunting for coal in the wild, and I spent the night lighting up more areas by my base. Then I went to check out our baby zombie McChicken, and the chicken despawned. Why did that even happen? Did I have to name both? It's a passive mob. Passive mobs don't despawn. Maybe this one counted as a hostile mob because a zombie was riding it? I don't know. But McChicken was no longer a McChicken. He was just a stupid Philza zombie. On day 153, I fed my boys so they'd make more villagers. We need to make more villagers to infect for our empire of emeralds. I spent the rest of my day organizing all of my excessive amount of resources. And honestly, my chest room was looking absolutely beautiful. I was so happy with how this turned out. On day 154, I decided to upgrade my apple harvesting hoe with mending, and I even named it after the biggest hoe that I know. Worth it. After naming it, I decided to make it into netherite. This accomplishment was so great that even the game showered me with meaningless applause. Then I found a free gold villager, and in the process of trying to trap him in a boat, these two mans trolled me by both stealing my boats. Joke's on them, because their new gold friend was going to spend the rest of his life as a villager, forced into trading. For each boat that was stolen, I expect him to pay me back 1 million emeralds each. On day 155, I changed my wheat farm to carrots, because wheat was honestly significantly less efficient. And I filled it with villagers so I could speed up my villager rating. On day 156, I finished building the porch area around my house, and what can I say? This place was looking absolutely fantastic. Like, I was very, very happy with how my house was turning out. This was gonna be so nice. On days 157 through 161, I finished up my roof, and what can I say? I'm pretty happy. Typically, roofs are the hardest part of any build for me, and that's why I always save them for last, because any little change to the underneath structure of a house, and all of a sudden you have to change all of the roof. And I was not doing that, especially for a base this big, but I think it turned out really great. It's kind of an odd roof, I'll give you that, but it looks nice, and it finally covers me up, and that checks off the stop being homeless task from the to-do list. This house is super comfortable, and I have officially moved from the compound onto better things. On day 162, I went to go do some capitalism with the boys. Just look at these dank stonks. I then spent the rest of the day placing lanterns everywhere to kind of light up the area and make it look nicer. And I made some paintings. This place is really starting to come together. It looks so nice. On day 163, I had the pleasure of going back and trying to fix these stupid pillars underneath my house. Somehow I messed them up and my OCD is dying. Sometimes OCD is a gift, sometimes OCD is a curse. This time, it's a curse. Please, somebody help me. On day 164, I went around and I continued lighting up my compound, so that way my new creeper farm would be super efficient even at nighttime. The only good amount of torches is too many torches. Then I seized the moment and I scammed this stupid skeleton out of giving me a music disc. The creeper never saw it coming. I spent all of day 165 upgrading my villager breeder. I mean, I know it's kind of a mess, but that's okay. They can live in poverty. At least this way, I didn't have to make an infinite village breeder. I don't really need infinite villagers, so I don't want to have to go through all the effort to build an infinite breeder. This is okay, this works. Now we can start producing more villagers to make into traders and infect and I could also get more villagers for my future iron farm. On day 166, the villager baby maker was in full production, and we were making lots of villagers so we could soon work on our iron farm. Then I spent the whole night working on these cool bridges in front of my new house. I was going to have one bridge that goes back to the compound, one bridge that goes to the house, one bridge that goes to the mainland, and then probably a fourth bridge that will lead over to our future villager outpost trading area that I'm going to make probably in 300 days. On day 167, I had so many volunteers for my new iron farm. Then I continued working on the bridges. Things were looking really nice. Now I could finally stop wasting rockets every time I wanted to avoid swimming back to the compound from my new base. On day 168, I lit up my front porch with these beautiful lanterns so I could say goodbye to these disgusting torch plebs. Then I spent the rest of my day gathering supplies for the new creeper farm. On day 169, nice, I found this scam artist just chilling under my house, and I went to go kill him, but I realized he had watermelon seeds. I actually haven't found watermelon in this world yet, so I went to go get some emeralds, and I came back and bought some seeds from him. And then I committed cold-blooded murder underneath my house where no one would find the body. After committing crimes against wandering traders, I began building my new creeper farm, and it was going pretty well. I had laid out the killing chamber, and I already had the collection chamber all ready to go. On days 170 through 172, I continued working on the creeper farm until I ran out of wood for trapdoors. I spent days 173 through 175 making 10 additional layers to spawn creepers on, and look at this thing go. It's already spawning stuff, and I haven't even finished encasing it and making it dark yet. I am one step closer to having infinite fireworks. And then somehow this zombie with the sword got into my mending villager's house, and I had to cure him. I have no clue how he got in there, but why did it have to be the mending villager? Either way, his trade value would probably go down, so I guess it was a win-win. On day 176, I continued working on my creeper farm. And then I went back to go check on my mending friend, and he was freaking gone! He was gone! Literally, the most important villager got infected, and I'm pretty sure some iron golem walked by and just killed him after I cured him. I cannot wait to make an iron golem farm and hear the sound of them melting in lava. Anyways, look at how many new villagers we have. Yay! On days 177 through 179, I finished closing up the creeper farm and it was good to go. Now the entirety of the farm was dark, so even during the daytime, lots of creepers and spiders will spawn, and I can farm them for their gunpowder, and I can get the spider string and sell it to the scam artists for emeralds. This farm isn't the nicest thing on the outside, but I do plan on eventually building a giant creeper structure on the outside of it, and it's going to have a block of TNT on its head. So it's like a giant creeper with a block of TNT on top. It's going to look amazing, but that means I have to start building up a ton of sheep, get colored sheep farms, and try to make an auto shearer. Maybe I'll do all that in 300 days. Typically for a creeper farm, you would want to build a box up in the sky so that way none of the caves underneath were loaded in and you'd have the best spawns. However, I'm not really trying to AFK this world since we are recording every day, so I went back around and continued lighting up more chunks, and I will continue finding caves in the future, so that way it'll work as efficiently as possible 24/7. Anyways, look at all the stuff we've already gotten. It's only been about 2 minutes since I've walked to my base and back, and we've already got all this loot. So we will have no problems with having infinite fireworks after I make a sugarcane farm. On day 180, I went caving near my base to light up some underground areas, and I found this super cool underground abandoned portal, right near my base. Honestly, this cave is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. I absolutely love 1.16 terrain generation, and I am super excited for Minecraft 1.17 with the new Caves and Cliffs update. On day 181, I checked on my pile of new villagers, and then I partook in some more capitalism. Then I went on a quest for bamboo with my elytra, so that way I can make a new stick farm and trade mad sticks for mad stonks. However, I was not having much luck with finding a jungle or any bamboo. However, I did find an abandoned portal, and I got me a nice block of gold that the lava then stole. And then I found this messed up village, so I robbed them. On day 182, I found another portal, and I decided to grab some crying obsidian. I mean, I don't know, I might use it eventually. And then I found another village, and I stole from them. And then I found a third village, and I stole from them. I'm beginning to realize I'm a lot like Santa, except I rob you. On day 183, I found an ice biome, which is super cool because I could always use this in the future. So, you know I had to steal tons of ice. I could use it for anything. I could go to the roof of the nether and make a nice ice path. Or I could just, be an adult and use an elytra, but whatever. I had ice now, so I could use it for anything I wanted. Also, Efficiency 5 ice breaking is one of the most satisfying things you will ever do in Minecraft. Then I found a sunken ship with a buried treasure map. On day 184, I found an illager tower that conveniently was right next to a village, so I started killing lots of illagers in the hopes of finding a captain and getting a curse. Today was going to be the day that we tried our first raid, and hopefully we can come out of it with some totems of undying. Then I spent the rest of the daylight fighting this raid, and let me tell you, this was one of the most intense moments I've ever had in Minecraft. I know it was just a baby raid, but I have never done a hardcore raid before, let alone played in hardcore. This is actually my first ever hardcore world, so this raid was a very new thing to me, and it was very, very scary. These guys, even though I had full netherite, they hit tons of damage. Vindicators, very scary. Vex, your worst nightmare, honestly. I also wasn't paying very much attention to the village, so a lot of the villagers died, and I think I lost my iron golem to a couple of ravengers. Honestly, doing this raid without beacons really, really hurt. So I was thinking maybe if I built another portal here, then I could use the nether to travel back, make some beacons, and in the future, this can be our own little farm for raids. We could farm raids here. Maybe we can make a raid area in 300 days. And I did get my first totem of undying from this raid, so it was definitely a successful day. On day 185, I decided to make another portal just to see where it would end up, see if there's anything interesting, and to see how difficult it was going to be to get back to our original nether location from here, since we were actually 15,000 blocks away in the overworld. Unfortunately though, I did not have a spare lodestone or compass, so I did not head home through the nether, and later that day I just flew home the old-fashioned way. It took an unbearable amount of time. On day 186, I spent the whole day clearing out trees in the village near the outpost, and then I realized that I'm pretty sure all the villagers are dead now. So I went to get another raid buff to test it, and I was kind of nervous because I had a level 3 raid buff now, and I don't know if I could handle that, but I went back to the village, and yeah, all my villagers were dead. Because I stood on the roof so long, I let all of them die, so this village was no longer useful to me. On day 187 through day 189, I found another village that was right next to the outpost. Like, it was actually closer than the first village where we had done the raid. And upon stepping in there, I started a level 3 raid. Now, this raid was really, really scary. I thought the last raid was bad. This one was terrifying. The Vex would not stop spawning. I actually ended up running out of food while I was out there. Chicken doesn't have much saturation, so I was already struggling. I actually ended up just kind of running away, and I spent the whole night flying home with my elytra, and I didn't have any food. But on the way home, I found 2 of my favorite types of villages, which is pretty cool. On day 189, I had struck literal gold. I was out exploring, and I found an illager outpost that was way closer to my house. I also had to stop here because I actually had just run out of fireworks. I literally ended up using my last firework to get home to my house. On day 190, I didn't really do much. I was just AFKing around my base, and I decided to add Unbreaking 3 to He Who Yeets, and then I fixed him up. Then I spent the rest of my day and night just lighting up more caves around the base, so that way my creeper farm would be as efficient as possible without me AFKing in a skybox. On days 191 through 192, I wasted so much time by gathering villagers for my iron farm. And I even managed to get a zombie. The zombie was pretty easy. He just kind of walked on up and I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity. I spent days 193 through 194 building the top of the farm. This was going to look good because I finally could use all of the new nether blocks for something, since the blackstone is beautiful, but it does not work at all with my kind of like spruce wood and stone brick house, so I couldn't really incorporate it in any way, and I'm glad I finally got to use it. On day 195, I wasted the entire day by filling the farm with villagers. I was going to need 20 villagers for this iron farm. I needed 5 for each chamber on the side, so that way there's maximum scare factor for the villagers, so that way we can get as many iron golems to spawn as often as we can have them spawn. I was not playing around. Just look, I haven't even added a zombie and there was already a golem. You know, I just want to throw this in there. These villagers gave me so many problems that I cannot wait to exploit them for their labor in 300 days. Getting these jerks to cooperate took all the way until day 197. On days 198 through 199, I finished out the iron farm. I named my zombie 1 million villagers as a reference to Destiny's original loot cave. 1 million deaths is not enough for Master Raoul, and I pushed him up to the top and into the cart. This man's was going to be working for me forever for free. He's going to spin around, scare the villagers will talk to each other, and they'll scare each other even more, which will increase the spawn of iron golems. And I set up an auto sorter and composter underneath. And honestly, just look at how great this is. This is my first ever iron farm. There's a lot of firsts in this world. The auto sorter allows me to have all of the flowers go into the composter and turn them into bone meal, and then all of the iron goes into the other chests. And in the 10 minutes it took me to set up the kill chamber, I've already made this much iron. And now that I finally have an iron farm, that is the last task on my to-do list for 200 days, which means you are now legally obligated to drop a like. Or maybe one day a group of aliens will come down and they'll make a human farm just like this iron golem farm, and we might end up in it. You wouldn't want that to happen, now would you? So for day 200, I wanted to give you guys a personal tour of my base and kind of what I've made so far. So this is the last day, and I just wanted to make sure you guys got to see every little part of the house, because I put a lot of work into this house throughout the series, and it is coming along so beautifully. So first off, over here, we have our nice little auto smelter area. We've got 2 regular furnace spots. We have 2 blast furnace, and we have a regular smoker, so that way I can cook any food we want. These are kind of temporary, probably going to play around with this area. Same goes for like this area, it's a little empty. If we come over here, we have those beautiful paintings that I said I made. We've got these chests, which are for ingredients for our potions, etc. We have our cool enchanting area and a chest for more lapis, so it's easier to access. I really enjoy the roof that I did with all the like glass. It's really unique. I've never made a build like this, and I've never seen someone make a build like this. Plus, you can see the creeper farm, and you can even see the iron golem farm if you head over here. You can like see it just chilling over there. It looks really cool. Plus, this in the future is going to have, you know, the giant creeper, the giant TNT block, etc. This spot right here, probably going to change. This spot right here does not normally have the shulkers. They're just from when I went on those trips with the elytra. And then I have 2 beds here for OCD reasons, and I don't really need a bedroom. I've never been a person to make a bedroom in Minecraft. Anyways, when it comes to our storage, we've got our like mob drop area here for all kinds of mob loot. We got our potion of XP. We've got name tags, bees, some spare chests here for extra storage. We've got our potions. I'm going to have tons of totems of undying in the future, so I've made lots of chests. We've got saddles. I've got horse armor. We've got discs, including an entire chest just for the beautiful pig step. We've got over here different types of blocks, a little bit of empty spots here. We've got dirt, grass, sand. We got stone bricks, stone, cobblestone. I'm actually missing 2 types of wood here. I'm missing jungle wood, and I'm missing acacia, I think. And then we're going to have the full section of each type of wood here. So saplings, planks, and, you know, like miscellaneous stuff. and then 2 chests for the actual wood. And then over here, we've got netherite, diamonds, emerald, all of our rare stuff. Each chest for different types of equipment, so that way when I go end city farming, we have spots for that. Lots of different miscellaneous stuff here, like TNT, buckets, beds, banners. We got shulkers, rails, etc. This is going to be an elytra chest. We've got lots for sugarcane, lots for different types of crops and fish and food. And then we're going to have 4 chests over here for like different colors of wool. Over here, we've got our nether section with all kinds of different nether blocks, including the woods, which I really want to build stuff with the wood in the future. I haven't made anything with it yet. I want to get really creative in this world. And then we have lots of spare spots here for other nether stuff and honestly, whatever else I feel fit. And then we're going to have a bunch of enchanted book chests for when I get more enchanted books, we can organize those. It's going to be super cool. On the outside of the house, I built like this, it's not entirely finished, there's a few spots here, but I built this entire deck area that's really nice. It goes all the way around the house. Really happy with it. And I'm going to put lanterns all around it eventually, so I don't have to have these torches here. And then you can kind of see the iron farm. I didn't have enough time to finish the actual chest room, but look at that. Look at that. There's an iron golem. Look at that. Also, I did show this off a few times throughout the 200 days. Over there, there is a guardian farm area. So in the future, we can definitely do a guardian farm. And then we have our little like walkways out here. Gonna do more work on them. There's gonna be more stuff in between here. I want to do like a lot of decorating in 300 days. This is the kind of like bridge area in the front porch. Most of these lanterns are actually good, so I did get rid of all the gross, icky torches, you know. We have our really nice bridges, which honestly, I never used to build bridges like this. I'm really proud of these bridges. They're pretty nice. And then we have this area over here, which will probably lead off into a new villager area, which I'm looking forward to. And then we have an area that will probably go to the mainland. And then we just have our compound over here, which honestly, I don't want to talk about it. It's a real mess, especially after moving the villagers throughout the 200 days. Like if you look over here, it is it is not pretty. Look at all, this is what it took to move these mans. This is what it took. It was not fun. Anyways, this is how the base looks, and this is how I've spent day 200. Also, now that you beautiful people have made it to the end of the video, I just wanted to give a shout out to these awesome supporters. I decided to make a book in my hardcore world with the names of every one of my channel members. So, a big shout out to Gunnar Grayson, our first ever member, Steel Rarebit, and H2YZO. If you want to help support the channel and end up in this book on that wall, then all you gotta do is hit the join button on my channel page. The link will be in the description. Anyways, thank you all for helping me start my journey. And that is how I survived 200 days of hardcore Minecraft. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. It was insanely fun to make. If this video hits 1,000 likes, then I'll do 300 days. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this one. This has been PainDomination, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.